Jewel is 15 years old, okay? Now remember this, she's 15 years old, and she admits that her sex addiction is so out of control that she's had sex with over 20 guys, and she has gotten pregnant 3 times. And now, again, remember, 15 years old, and now she's afraid she has a sexually transmitted disease. So Jewel, you're a baby, you're 15 years old, so you're in high school, 15, and what does it feel like to be an addict and to be such a young girl?
When I think about it, it's like I'm trapped in a dark place, like with no light shining down. It feels like I'm a prisoner. I know that I need help for this. I mean, I know it for a fact.
Now, tell me, you said sex is like a drug to you. That's what you told my producer. So take me through your day. You wake up in the morning, do you think about sex?
I wake up in the morning, I think about it. Of course, hormones. I think about sex when I wake up in the morning. I'm brushing my teeth, I'm thinking about it. Eating, I'm thinking about it.
In the shower, thinking about it.
In the shower, thinking everything
all
just
day.
revolves around it.
And I understand you're crying yourself to sleep at night. What are you thinking at night when you're crying?
I don't deserve to live. I don't deserve to live.
You don't deserve to live? Why do you say that? Jewel, you're 15. Why do you say you don't deserve to live?
Oh my God.
I know that you have a fear right now, Jewel. What do you fear right now?
I might possibly have an STD.
You fear you might have an STD. Do you know which one that you're fearing? Which one?
Herpes.
You think you saw something? You think it might be herpes? Okay. I have to ask you, how old were you when you lost your virginity?
9.
You were 9 years old?
Yes.
9 years old. Oh, we'll be right back. So who took that from you at such a young age, Jewel?
At 9, I mean, what 9-year-old knows what they're doing?
Of course.
But at 9, I was not in a relationship because I'm just 9 years old, but my boyfriend took it from me.
And how old was he?
He was 10.
So he was 10? And he knew how to have sex with you at 10 years old?
Yes.
Wow.
Something had to have happened to him to make him like that. On pre-puberty pre-pubertal children don't know about explicit sexuality.
Yeah,
and the only way that happens is an adult introduces it. So something must have happened to him at a young age too.
Did anything happen to you before that when it comes to sex?
Actually,
What happened to you?
I was raped.
You were raped. And how old were you when you were raped, Jewel?
I was 9.
You were 9?
Yeah.
This was before the 10-year-old?
This was, did it. That he pledged to it and he raped me.
And he raped you. And where were you when this happened?
At home. I mean, nobody knows about that situation but me.
Well, I'm glad you're speaking about it, because that was not your fault. You know that, right? You know that was a bad, disgusting, dirty man, what he did to you. That was not your fault, and it's good that you're speaking about it. So now that you're saying that you're a sex addict, so when you are having the sex, how are you feeling when you're having the sex?
Well, when I have sex, I feel like, I mean, I'm powerful at the moment.
Powerful?
Because any other time, my self-esteem is so low. I don't believe that I'm beautiful. Like, when I'm having sex, I get attention. I'm on top of the world. I'm on cloud 9.
That's a classic description by sex addicts. Sex is all about power and control. Sex is a substitution for intimacy, because true intimacy is too dangerous. And sex is a drug, and it's a way of getting closeness without being close.
Okay. And so after, how do you feel?
I feel guilty because, I mean, I know I'm not supposed to be doing it, but I feel guilty.
Sometimes, you told my producers that sometimes you don't feel smart enough to be here. What does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, I know that we're all on this earth for a purpose, but me, I'm not here for anything. I know that for a fact.
You think you don't have a purpose?
No, I have no purpose in life.
So why do you think you're here?
To tell my story and encourage other people, but other than that,
you don't see that as some purpose? Helping other young girls that are going through what you're going through? No? What's the oldest man that you have been with sexually? You're 15 years old, so what's the oldest?
37.
And how old were you?
13.
You were 13 and he was 37, and where did you meet him?
I used to get on chat lines,
Chat lines. Internet.
like phone chat lines.
Phone chat. Okay. And did he know how old you were? Yeah. Okay.
Can I ask something? You strike me as somebody who's very much of a caretaker. Do you take care of other family members?
Yes, I do.
Do you have younger siblings and things that you're responsible for?
Yes, I do.
Isn't that a purpose for you? Aren't you here to help protect them?
Yes, sir.
Interesting, Dr. Drew, that you read that about her. I mean, I don't mean read on a paper.
No,
I mean
can
you
see it.
reading that she's a caretaker.
She is parentalized. She looks 25.
Older. Yeah, you
she
look
seems
older.
very competent. And to hear her say something like, I have no purpose, it really strikes me as incongruous with what I'm sure your life is like, which is you take care of a lot of people. I can tell. They need you. There's a purpose there.
There's a purpose, Jewel. And right now, you have no idea how many people you're reaching. Millions of people. And young girls like you that have been raped, that are scared to say something. Or a young boy might have done something that they weren't ready for. Or maybe even a young girl, a young teenage girl in high school like you that is a sex addict. And that is huge purpose and a huge, actual, beautiful responsibility that you have right now because you're helping other young girls. That is purpose. Purpose on a platform. Okay? You gonna give me a hug? And then get you some help at home? Okay, give me a hug. Steve, so 48 hours. Take me through that day of being locked up for that long and watching the porn.
Oh, it's horrible. I send her off to work and I'm drawn to the internet. I go right to the internet.
So as soon as she leaves, as soon as the door closes, run and get up.
Closes, I run and get up. It's like a compulsion. I just have like no control over it, and I just run, and this is the first chance I can look at the internet, and that's what I do.
And then you masturbate while you're looking at it.
And then I masturbate, and yeah, and it's just, you know, after I get done doing it, I feel really bad, and
How often do you have sex with your wife? How often do you guys have sex, Brenda?
Less than once a month.
Less than once a month.
Yes, and it's very hurtful. And it makes me feel disgusting.
If you had your choice, Steve, if your wife is, you know, looking sexy and saying, hey, come, you know, let's do something, versus masturbating with the porn on the computer, do you choose the computer?
yeah.
You do.
Yeah, because it doesn't have anything to do with the way she looks. It has to do with her attitude. Because during the day I get so angry at her because all she does is constantly bicker at me and call me names and call me a loser, which I feel like already. I already feel like a big loser because I'm jeopardizing my job, not bringing income in because I'm not going to work.
But let's stop here because Steve, first of all, very courageous of you to step forward and have this conversation. You really described a classic, and this a very common addiction, which is the internet porn addiction, was considered one of the most rapidly increasing diagnostic categories in the country. All the things he described, millions of men and women are experiencing.
Wow.
And he very courageously painted the entire picture for you. So let's substitute porn and just put cocaine in there. And what if this were cocaine and that was your crack pipe, that portal that you run to every day was just a crack pipe? Think about how your marriage would be affected. Think of the kinds of interactions. It would be exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
You're an addict, you're a loser, you care about the cocaine more than you care about your family. That's what addiction is. It's a motivational distortion where these things do take over. Are you kidding? You think he doesn't want to have control over this? Of course he wants it. Of course he wants it. He can't. It will not happen without treatment. This is about loss of control. This is about emptiness. This is about childhood trauma, which I'm sure you experienced. I'm sure you had a little bit too. And this is about a relationship that is affected by the severe addiction.
You said
Both
he's had some
people,
childhood trauma.
I'm sure.
Childhood trauma?
Yeah, I grew up in a nudist resort, and my parents met and married out there, and as a result of it, I was molested when I was a child.
By somebody at the colony?
Yeah, but
Now, again, think about this. He was a victim as a child that wired something into his brain that made this illness that he has. Do you understand? So there's a thing here that the most difficult part about these situations, both people need treatment.
Yeah.
There's a
Both
reason
need
you were
treatment.
attracted to him. There's a reason.
Steve, how old were you when you were molested?
8.
8 years old.
Yeah, and that's
Steve, not your fault.
Yeah.
That was not your fault.
Yeah, but tell me that now when I'm trying to repair my relationship, and
You can't do it alone.
You know,
Steve,
everything's
you
against
cannot do it alone.
Did you tell
There are
your parents?
12-step programs out there for both of you guys.
I told my parents and they threw it away. Like, it didn't matter to them. It's like, it's your fault. You're the one that made that decision, not to tell us. You're the one that made that decision. And,
Is at 8.
At 8.
you know, and I had to forgive them for it, and it hurts. You know, I mean, I'm torn apart because I can't help myself.
Do you want to be with your wife?
Right now, I don't want to be with anybody. I just want to be able to get this addiction under control. It's taken over my life. I can't work.
Well,
I
Dr.
can't
Drew,
do
we've got him
anything.
some help.